President Trump and Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, are set to have dinner on Wednesday before discussions start in earnest in the Vietnamese capital. President Trump spent the morning of his first day in Vietnam meeting with that country's leaders and attending a signing ceremony for commercial business deals. He is expected to meet Kim Jong-un, the North Korean leader, for dinner Wednesday evening. Formal talks between Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim, their second such meeting in 8 months, will kick off on Thursday. The United States wants North Korea to dismantle its nuclear weapons program. The North Koreans are seeking numerous concessions, including an end to punishing sanctions. It is a critical moment for Mr. Trump, who vowed to solve the North Korea problem before his inauguration, and for Mr. Kim, who needs to make good on promises to nurture the North Korean economy. President Trump's day began by meeting with Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc of Vietnam and President Nguyen Phu Trong, who is also the General Secretary of the country's ruling Communist Party. Mr. Trump later attended a signing ceremony for commercial business deals, including the sale of 100 Boeing 737 MAX jets to Vietjet Air, a private Vietnamese airline, for nearly $13 billion at list prices, and 10 Boeing 787 Dreamliners to Bamboo Airways, another private airline in Vietnam, for $3 billion. In a meeting with Vietnam's leaders, Mr. Trump described Vietnam's development as a path for Kim Jong-un to follow that would make North Korea into a great economic power. In the week leading up to the summit, the news media feverishly guessed at the venue of the meetings between President Trump and Kim Jong-un. Would it be the State Guest House, a French colonial former governor's residential palace? Or the Hanoi Opera House around the corner? Now, with the White House's confirmation that Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim would dine at the storied Metropole Hotel on Wednesday night, all bets are on that hotel to be the venue for the working sessions on Thursday as well. Suites there are named after famous historic guests including Charlie Chaplin, Graham Greene and Somerset Maugham. A wall of photos in one hallway off the lobby also shows Jane Fonda, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Since Tuesday, guests have been required to pass through metal detectors and show identification confirming that they have paid rooms. Warnings have gone out that several facilities, including the hotel's famed bars, will be closed Wednesday night. Members of Hanoi's mobile police force, in all-black uniforms, white gloves, and carrying police batons, guarded the entrances. When asked Tuesday night if the preparations were for the summit meeting, one officer only smiled and said, "Security." One security measure in the Metropole's favor, there's a Vietnam War-era bomb shelter beneath the hotel. North Korea and the United States have remained technically at war since the Korean War was halted in a truce in 1953, and Washington still keeps 28,500 troops in South Korea to prevent the war from rekindling. Mr. Trump's first meeting with Mr. Kim this week will be on Wednesday evening, White House officials said, with a one-on-one discussion at the colonial-era Metropole Hotel before a dinner that will include Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Mick Mulvaney, the acting White House Chief of Staff, and possibly Kim Yong-chol, North Korea's former intelligence chief and top diplomat. But South Korean officials said on Monday that Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim could agree on a joint statement declaring an end to the war when they meet in Hanoi. It would be a political statement, not a formal peace treaty. We still don't know exactly what format the end-of-war declaration will take, but there is an ample possibility of North Korea and the United States agreeing to such a declaration, said Kim Uikyeom, a spokesman for South Korea's President, Moon Jae-in. Over the decades, ethnic Koreans in Japan embraced North Korea as the rest of the world cut it off. The money they sent to relatives there helped keep the North's economy afloat. Now there is nervous anticipation among ethnic Koreans in Japan, who arrived there during Tokyo's 35-year colonial occupation of Korea, that a political thaw could ease the North out of its long isolation.